Hi everyone, how's it going? This is going to be the lovely video review of the MP-14 Plus KO from tfdirect.com. And here's obviously the front of the box, bottom, top, side, back, and yeah, a bunch of Japan words that I don't know. I will say one thing, looking at this box, the print quality of the images seem a bit less. You may not be able to tell us on camera, but in person, now this looks entirely like the real thing in my opinion. But the actual photos, I'm not sure if they're lower print quality or not, but they seem like they might be of a bit lower print quality than the real thing. But other than that, seems pretty awesome. So anyway, what I'm going to do now, of course, is pause, get this guy out of the box, and we'll take a further look at him. Alright guys, here I have Red Alert out of the package. And I have not transformed him or even really played with him at all. Yeah, I literally just took him out of the package, and we've already got some flaws with this KO, which is shocking because every other KO I've gotten has been more or less flawless, so I'm a little surprised by this. One of the main problems is he doesn't really want to roll. I guess the plastic tolerances aren't as good on this as they are quote-unquote real masterpiece. Obviously, the door panel doesn't stay together super well. Kind of the same thing with that front wheel too. The rear wheels seem fine. But anyway, let's go ahead and just take a quick tour. We got some paint splotch there on the windshield. Let's see, what other flaws can we find on this guy? Oh, here's a little paint spot there on the hood. I mean, these are what I would call minor annoyances. Now, I don't have the, this is obviously the anime colors of Red Alert. So we're getting a basically a cartoon type of look with him. And that's basically a tour of the vehicle mode. I'm going to go ahead and grab Masterpiece Sideswipe. Now this is an actual, this is not a knockoff. This is an Takara Tomy original from the first release of, this is like the first release of this mold, by the way. As far as which one do I like better, I do prefer the more, I'm slightly mistransformed. That's my fault. I'll explain here in a minute why I slightly mistransformed. I actually like the more, quote, true-to-life look of Sideswipe better than the more cartoony look of Red Alert. But, you know what? That being said, they still fit in my opinion, pretty well together. And they could sit next to each other on your shelf. And I think, despite the stylistic differences, I think they still look pretty nice together. But even the Takara version isn't perfect because, as you can see, there's still a gap there, and that's what I was trying to fix, and it was driving me nuts between the you know, windshield and I don't know, the side body panel there. It doesn't close in super, you know, too tightly, but at least it rolls okay, right? So, but all the detailing, obviously, it's the same mold. So all the detail on the original masterpieces on this, and of course you can do the same gimmick weapon storage on the on this as you could on, you know, Sideswipe. So there you go, if you want to. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and compare this Red Alert to a couple of other Red Alerts that I have in vehicle mode. We're going to start off with, I guess this is the Universe release of Sideswipe. I'm not Sideswipe, sorry. Red Alert. Yeah, not bad. You know, I dig it. It's a good comparison. I do like the Masterpiece looks better, but I'm more of a sucker for the 80s Lamborghini Countach, so that's probably why. But I do like the way the Classics Universe 1 looks in vehicle mode as well. So there you have that. And lastly, I have a G1 reissue here of Red Alert, just so you can see how they look together. And in this one, which one do I like better? I probably still like the Masterpiece better because the proportions are better, I think. But I think the G1 holds up, honestly, extremely well. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite between these two. Maybe the I'm gonna honestly probably flip flop on that one. Probably the G1 a bit more. So anyway, what I'm gonna do real quick, guys, is I'm gonna pause, get this guy into robot mode, and see if there's really any show-stopping flaws in robot mode, because the whole reason I bought this was robot mode, not so much vehicle mode. So if these are the only real flaws with this figure, I can certainly live with them. We'll find out here in a bit. See you guys. Alright guys, here we have Red Alert transformed and into robot mode. Let's go ahead and get the relevant comparisons out of the way first. Here he is next to his G1 self. Here he is with, as I knock him over, right? And we'll get to a few issues here in a moment with him. Here he is next to Universe/Classics. Red Alert, man, deluxes were big back in the day, weren't they? Almost as big as the Masterpiece, but way uglier. And let's see. Oh, of course, the most relevant comparison we're going to care about, of course, is going to be Sideswipe. I just had to get Sideswipe ready to go. And obviously, both hold neck. That's what I get for placing guns like that. I think these guys pair up pretty well, I have to say. Definitely, even though we got the more toyetic aesthetic, I definitely can get behind the anime colors as well, and they, in my opinion, look really good together. Now, there are definitely some imperfections with this KO, which we will get into now. But to be fair, some of these issues are endemic to the mold. For example, he's not the most... Jeez, Pete's. He doesn't hold his gun in the most stable way ever. This is the case with Masterpiece, a Sideswipe, and sometimes his chest. Of course, now that I'm holding him and demonstrate, he's going to be perfect. Okay, the gun is flopping around a little bit, but even the original MP is a little bit floppy. So that's an issue that we have to deal with and live with. So such is life. Now let's take a closer look here at the okay, let me go ahead and put Sideswipe there to the side. The biggest flaw that he has is, I'm not sure how obvious this is on camera, but the hole, this obviously tab is for this hole. This hole is too small and kind of crooked. So yeah, that's an issue, because his chest doesn't latch in entirely correctly to his torso there. I mean, it's not something you can't overcome. I mean, it still stays together okay, just doesn't stay together super well. Also, a flaw is his shoulder cannon does not go into that shoulder all that well, but it goes perfectly fine into this shoulder. So this toy is definitely far from perfect. Here's this little effect piece, you know, from the Auto Berserk episodes. Let me go ahead and just stick that on his head so you can see what that looks like. And there you go. We got that. And let's see here. That's what that looks like. And that looks pretty good. And we've got wheels on his arm. I like that look. Do we have any paint imperfections? Let's take a look here. Nothing too bad in robot mode. Also, his back piece will flop around more than on the Masterpiece. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but his back, this does seem to be more prone to flopping than on the Masterpiece. So overall, as far as, quote, a toy goes, I would not say this is a particularly good one, because he is kind of, in his arm, the joint in this arm is a lot looser than the joint in this arm. Whereas on the Masterpiece, are they equally tight? Let's find out real quick. Fairly tight. Yeah, they're pretty equally tight. Although, it is slightly looser on this arm, so I guess that does carry over. But it's just, the problem is more pronounced on the KO. But you have to keep in mind, this is a KO. This is not an official Masterpiece. So, it's like, you know, less than a third of the price. This is, you know, 30, 35 bucks. Whereas you're going to pay, you know, $90 to over $100 for the official Masterpiece. So you got to keep that in mind when you're buying these KOs. So for the price, I can live with the limitations of this KO, because he's still, despite all of the issues that I just kind of pointed out, he is still a really good display piece. You know, I'm not going to bother going over his articulation, because this is, everybody knows what the articulation is on this mold. But, yeah, I mean, he is still a good display piece, and that's exactly what I intend on using him as a display piece. He's not really going to be, quote, a toy I play with, obviously. He's just going to be sitting on my shelf looking like Red Alert. Let me go ahead and zoom in just so you can see. I guess I didn't really show off the details like I should have, so let me just go ahead and do that real quick. And overall, I'd say he looks, you know, well, we won't be looking at him from the back, but overall, I especially like the head sculpt, the way they painted it and everything. Looks really good. He is a really nice looking figure, despite his issues. So, would I recommend this guy? If you are looking for just something to be a display piece and not an actual toy, absolutely, I would recommend him. If you're looking for a toy that you actually want to mess with and transform and has, quote, resale value, no, because this has no resale value whatsoever, but I don't care. He's just for display. So anyway, if you like this, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.